Good day, YouTube. Supercanine here with a Lost Ark video. I wanted to share the adventure I had in the Shadespire Tower. After a few days of leveling, questing, and getting my gear upgraded, I tried out this tower for the rewards, and the fame, and the glory, and the challenges. I was pleasantly surprised the challenges that were offered here and decided to share my victory with the world. That being said, the first 40 levels or so are not very interesting, but the last couple of floors make up for all of that. I did the tower with almost the minimum gear required to complete floor 50 and a little over 540 in gear score. Before we jump to floor 50, let's go over the challenges I had to face along the way. Let's start with floor 44. Dodging the bombs might take a bit of practice, and I had to respec into more mobility here. I also used a swiftness robe battle item for that extra burst of speed. Once the room gets divided into two halves by the slimes, choose the right side first, and when the big bombs start spawning there, use your space bar dash to get over the slimes and move into the left side of the arena where things are a little bit safer. The next challenge I hit was on floor 45. It seems like an easy fight with just another boss to kill until you get blinded. It becomes very hard to dodge attacks and position yourself properly when your view is only limited to a few meters. The way I dealt with this boss is by using a taunting scarecrow battle item when he blinded me so I could just continue DPSing from a relatively safe position. Alternatively, you can use a Panakia recovery item here to cleanse the blind and take him down as you normally would. Floor 48 was a fun one too. It took me a few tries to figure out what I was supposed to do here. Eventually I figured out that if I can't attack the boss, I guess we should just throw bombs at it. I think that's one of the two ways of clearing this floor. The other option here is to use a Panakia recovery item that should clear the silence long enough for you to use your ultimate and just kill the boss in one go that way. I used, I think, 3 bombs in total to kill him here, so it's a bit of a slower way to do it, a little more dangerous, but I didn't know about the Panakia when I was doing this. I just discovered that later, but it is also an option to just ult him and be done with it. And then, when you finally reach the last floor, there's just one boss to kill to take that sweet, sweet skill potion. The fight starts out relatively easy. The boss does some telegraphed AoEs, and while some of them cast quite fast, with some practice they are easy to dodge. The real fun starts when he hits about 50% life. The room turns dark and the floor is covered with a black fog. This will prevent you from seeing the telegraphed AoEs, and he will continue to cast them during this phase. The deal here is to memorize the cast animations for each of the different attacks the boss uses. This way you can continue to dodge his attacks even though you cannot see the telegraphed spots on the ground. Something to keep in mind here is that his close range AoE seems to have fastest cast animation and generally requires a dash of sorts to get out of the radius. Alright, let's go over the cast animations and how to deal with them. Both arms spread at shoulder height means double sideways AoE. Facing a direction and lifting one arm is a frontal cone. Both hands above his head clasped together means staying near him is safe. Both hands raised high but spread out means get away from him. And lastly, his Kamehameha is shown by a small charging orb before he casts it. To simplify this, it's always safe to be behind the boss, except for when he does his close range AoE. So position yourself properly. As soon as you see his hands raised high and spread, you need to dash away. This cast is quick and running is often not enough. His patterns during the smokescreen phase are a little slower and more forgiving than during the first phase, so you have a bit more time to read his patterns. Lastly, at around 10%, he will blind you as well, but this is not much of an issue since the boss is stationary, so he'll be easy to find again, and you can still read his patterns while you burst down the last 10%. I hope this was useful, and good luck on your adventures in the world of Lost Ark.